Oh, boys and girls, it's new wrestling figure day. I've got AEW Unrivaled Series 9. I've got the Brodie Lee Tribute -1 figure as well. We are going to get some boxes open and have a look at some wrestling figures. Hello folks and welcome to another AEW wrestling figure unboxing here on the channel. I say unboxing, we're not actually going to be unboxing this first one. It is the Brodie Lee -1 tribute figure. The ringside collectibles exclusives, the ones in the nice boxes, the fancy collector's pieces as I refer to them. I tend not to open these up, they just go onto my shelf as is, and this is definitely going to be one of those. They're calling it part of the Unmatched collection, which I don't think we've had anything else in the Unmatched collection so far. So I don't know if there's going to be more entries to this series, but you can see we've got Brodie Lee figure, which looks very, very similar to the Brodie Lee figure that we already got. I'm now spinning round. He didn't have the jacket by the looks of it. It looks like an identical figure, just with a new jacket to the one that was already part of the Unmatched line. And then we've got -1 as well, which is just a really cool figure. It's a lovely piece. It's a lovely set in memory of Brodie Lee. And it's in a lovely box. And it's just a nice thing to have. All the proceeds for this, as far as I'm aware, are going to -1 as well, and to the family, to help them with the fact that obviously they've lost their breadwinner. It's obviously no compensation for losing your dad, but it is a very nice thing to have, -1, and also the money's not going to do any harm at all with like furthering his education, all that kind of stuff. The things that kids need. It's just a cool set. I'm glad I own it, and it will take pride of place in my wall of boxed wrestling figures that I have on the side of the room that you never see. Let's swap this out and swap it in for a big old box, a much less sad big old box, which has all of Unrivaled Series 9 in it. I'm actually going to put the box down here out of the way so that we can focus in on the individual wrestlers. And from memory, I think this is a set that has, it's a full set of wrestlers that we've not actually had yet in the AEW set. So a little bit different. We've kind of had a lot of Chris Jericho's, John Moxley's, Kenny Omega's, Young Bucks. And I'd actually got to the point where on the display behind me, I've kind of had to limit it to just one of each wrestler because there were so many I couldn't fit them all out on display anymore. Now I've got 6 that I've got to fit up there somewhere. This is going to be a challenge, but it's a very cool set, one I've been really looking forward to. We are starting things off with one of my favorite wrestlers. At the time of recording, I'm recording this the day after Double or Nothing, where this man has just had an incredible performance, and it's Eddie Kingston. We need to get into this box and have a look at Eddie Kingston. I think this is his first ever figure. Bearing in mind, this guy is like my age. He's been wrestling for 20 years. I can't get into this with the knife. I'm just going to rip the box open the way I always do. That always upsets people. And there is the man himself. There's the 2 head choices. I actually think this head is probably better than the one that's on the figure. But it is pretty cool. I've not seen him. Is that finger broken, or is it? I realise he's doing a strange little hand gesture. One that I've never actually seen him do. So I think we'll probably swap some of these hands out, probably swap the head out as well. But it is pretty cool. It looks like Eddie Kingston. Like I say, with all of these, they're figures that we've not had anywhere in the set yet. So they're definitely figures that you need so that you can start getting your poses and stuff together and tag teams. And I haven't quite got enough to be able to do the Anarchy in the Arena match because I don't have most of the Jericho Appreciation Society. But I know after all the Double or Nothing announcements, we've got the likes of Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Adam Cole. They're all on their way. So there are some very cool figures to come. I'm already opening this next one. I haven't shown you who it is. It's Christian Cage. His first AEW figure. Obviously, this is a guy who's had many, many WWE figures, Impact figures, or I guess TNA figures at the time over the years. But his first AEW figure. I reckon we'll be able to keep him in the Christian pose out on display. Guarantee I'm probably not. I'm going to try, but I might struggle. So there he is. I mean, it looks like Christian. That's the really cool thing. And then I can't even get his hand back where it looked like it was. Kind of like that, isn't it? There you go. Are we fully zoomed in? I feel like we're not fully zoomed in. There we go. So we have Christian doing his Christian pose in Christian trunks. And the face looks like Christian, which is a bit of a bonus, really. Sometimes they're a little bit iffy. I mean, even Eddie Kingston. I mean, from a distance, you can tell it's Eddie Kingston. Close up, maybe not so much. But that is undeniably Christian. And it is a very cool figure. And I love the fact that he is posable in the whole Christian famous pose that he likes to do. Very, very cool. Need to get that posed up with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus on the display behind me so that we can get that little faction fully represented. And we have another very, very cool figure. It's Thunder Rosa, the AEW Women's Champion. Doesn't come with the title belt because obviously the figures are always going to production. Like, it takes like a year for the figure to go from, right, this is what we're going to be bringing out, to when they actually hit the shelves. So when the mold was designed, obviously she wasn't the champion. I'm a little bit confused by the gear that she's in. I don't even know how that's supposed to stay on her head. What way round was that even? I don't remember her wearing this gear. I could be wrong. I'm sure you can let me know down in the comments when she wore this gear. It's not particularly iconic Thunder Rosa gear as far as I'm concerned, but she is. She is to steal the nerdy word that I hear them talk about on the major wrestling figure podcast. She's very toyetic, is Thunder Rosa, obviously with the face paint. She just looks very, very cool. It is a very, very cool figure, and again, absolutely undeniably Thunder Rosa. And this thing, I guarantee, is going to get lost because it kind of just rests on top of her head. It's not even, I don't even know which way round it's supposed to be. That way, probably. It's not even like it's a proper hat. I always lose hats. It just kind of rests up there. Like that, I guess. That's going to get lost before this video is even finished, I should think. But it is a very cool figure. And another example of of just how far in advance they get these into production. We've got Brian Cage, who was last seen on AEW TV probably about 10 months ago. I'm expecting this guy to be massive because obviously in real life, Brian Cage is massive. We've also got Powerhouse Hobbs in this set. That'd be interesting to put those two side by side to see who is more massiver, and if they look bigger than the likes of Christian. We'll put them side by side in a minute. But you can, I guess, when these went into production, because we've got Cage, Starks, and Hobbs all in the same set, presumably, this was when Brian Cage was still with Team Taz. I think we have got a Taz figure on the way as well. Hook was announced as part of the announcements at the Double or Nothing Fan Fest as well. So we can do a full Team Taz, including Brian Cage. So there he is, and looking not as big as I actually thought he would. I mean, if you compare his arms to Eddie Kingston, I'm a little disappointed because he's a little bigger. He's not Brian Cage bigger. You would expect this to be a larger than life, enormous specimen, and he's not really. He's just a normal wrestling figure. His face scan is really good. Less so on the second head that we've got, but with that expression on, he definitely looks like Brian Cage. You can tell who it's supposed to be, but he just seems too small. Brian Cage is supposed to be enormous, and this guy, not really. Got a pair of glasses on him. That could be a Kev figure. And here's the other big guy from this set, Powerhouse Hobbs, who at the time this was put into production was big, and now he's like cut big, but you can see in that picture he doesn't even look like that in real life anymore. So this isn't going to look like a particularly accurate representation of Powerhouse Hobbs as he currently is, because he is just all muscle and definition and just an enormous, very well defined, no fat on him man now. But it certainly looks like the Powerhouse Hobbs we had when he first burst onto the scene. I'm surprised how every single one of these has got spare hands, spare heads. We didn't get a spare Thunder Rosa head, but we've had heads for everybody else so far. It's just a lot of heads. But there we have Powerhouse Hobbs. And again, he just doesn't seem bulky enough. Put him next to Brian Cage. You can actually see Brian Cage is pretty bulky compared to Will Hobbs, because, I mean, he looks smaller than Eddie Kingston. They need to put a little bit more oomph into these bigger guys to differentiate them from the smaller guys, because otherwise they just look a little bit weird. That looks like Powerhouse Hobbs if he'd been sick for a while. The facial expression, the head mold, absolutely perfect, and it's spot on. Pop that head back on, shall we? It looks like Will Hobbs, but only from the head up. The rest of the body just looks. I mean, is it the same body as Eddie Kingston? Just looks like a little dumpy man. And then last one from this set, we have Ricky Starks, who actually doesn't come with a second head either. Also, weirdly, doesn't come with the FTW title. Neither did Brian Cage. I can only assume that's coming with Taz when we get Taz, but it just seems odd to see Ricky Starks without the title that we're so used to seeing him with now. Although, like I say, probably at the time these were commissioned, Brian Cage was probably still parading around with it, but he didn't come with it either. And on the topic of things that are surprisingly absent, the other thing that is not here that I thought it would be, which is probably worth a mention, is when these were first announced, they were going to be coming with Upper Deck trading cards like we got on, was it Unmatched 2? And as a nerd who collects both wrestling figures and trading cards, obviously that was exciting to me. I liked getting the exclusive ones with that set, and I was looking forward to getting them again with this, but no sign of them at all, or any explanation for where they are at the time the video is being recorded. Does Ricky Starks wear a necklace? It's kind of just there. I mean, it looks a lot like him. This is one of the better likenesses of the set, I think. Christian looks absolutely spot on. Eddie Kingston looks cool, but I'm not so sure about the face. Thunder Rosa looks very cool as well. But this looks more like Ricky Starks, I think, than any of the others, apart from Christian, look like who they're supposed to be. It is a very cool figure. On this one, they kind of get the body right. He is much leaner, and you can see if you put him next to Brian Cage, you can see he's much leaner than Brian Cage. But then you get Hobbs in the mix, and it just, I don't know. I feel like between the three of them, it should be more noticeable just how much bigger Hobbs is than Starks, and I don't think you get that. Even putting him next to Christian, there's not a lot of difference between the two, and there should be. But all in all, love the fact that we've got 6 brand new wrestlers, brand new additions to the set. It is going to make things complicated. We're trying to sort out the display behind me, but the display behind me needs sorting out anyway, because ever since I got the little stands to put them on from Ringside Collectibles, they've just fallen over constantly because the stands are rubbish. So I need to resort it anyway, get them all back on blue tack, and hope they stay in position. So I get all the fun of messing around with those now. More original characters, please. I like that. I don't want to be opening Chris Jericho all the time. I have enough Young Bucks and Kenny Omegas. Last me for a little while. Love the fact we're getting something new. More of that, please. Can't wait for the next set. Let me know what you thought of them down in the comments below, and what figures from the newly announced ones you're looking forward to as well. And I now need to dash and go sort out my shelves. Thanks for watching, folks.